What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome back to another video here on Peg City Hockey, and what an insane last 24 hours it has been if you are a fan of the Winnipeg Jets. Not only did the Jets finally go out there and really trade and make splashes on trade deadline day in acquiring Toffoli and acquiring Miller, but just also when you look at the fact that they were able to get, Sean Monahan a month ago and what he's brought to this team, the assets that they've traded, the team that they've already assembled, and everything that's just gone into getting the Jets to where they are right now, it's absolutely incredible to see. And I don't think any of us really expected this based off where we were last year. This whole year has been completely insane. And, you look at the additions of Tyler Toffoli. The Jets needed a top six scorer, and they got a top six scorer, which seems like for pennies on the dollar, I should add as well. And then they get the depth defenseman that they needed in Colin Miller at a very affordable price, pretty much for free, if you ask me, based on where that draft pick is, And Toffoli is the perfect fit. We Jets fans wanted a top six player. We wanted a goal scorer. We felt that that's what the team needed. The media felt like that's what the team needed. And I was worried. I didn't know if Chevy and the organization was going to go out there and really make that trade. If they felt that they could, stand pat. I didn't know how to feel this year. And they go out there and they get Toffoli. And like I said, which for the price of pennies on the dollar, and it's just absolutely insane. Tyler Toffoli is a 30-goal scorer, ladies and gentlemen, 26 goals in the season, 44 points. You look at his advanced stats, everything about him screams top sixer. This is the perfect guy to get for this team. And they went out and they did it. And again, they traded pennies on the dollar to do it. They found a way when Vegas was trading everything that they could, circulating the cap as much as they could to try to bring in talent when they're not even in a position that they have a guaranteed playoff spot yet. It's crazy that the Jets went out there and paid the prices that they did. And you add to that forward core, look at that. Look at the riches that this forward core has now. It's crazy to me to see. That top six of Connor with Scheifele and Velarde when he's healthy, with Ehlers and Monahan and Tyler Toffoli. Those are two first lines, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler Toffoli is going to fit in so well here. Not only has he played with Monahan in the juniors, he's played with Iafallo, he's played with Monahan in Calgary. This is a guy that has chemistry already established with players on this team, friendships with players on this team. He is pretty much a 30-goal scorer that we're adding to the mix of this team. It's just crazy to me that Chevy went out and did this, and finally backing their own words pretty much is what this organization did this trade deadline, because we've seen them parade the idea around in the past when the Jets haven't been as good as they are this year about how they want to compete, about how they're all in and how they want to win and all this stuff, but they never went out there and made the moves to really sell the fan base on those words, on the ideology that we are all in. And then you look at this year, Tyler Toffoli, Colin Miller, and you can't forget about Sean Monahan a month ago. The absolute perfect additions. Colin Miller is a guy that I saw a lot of Jets fans worrying that he would be the only thing that they did today. That, we're going to get Colin Miller, or we're going to get a Matt Dumba, and that's going to be it, And I can't believe that they went out there and they got Toffoli. They looked around. They figured out that Miller was the best guy for the fit that they wanted. They went back to New Jersey, and they only had to pay, a fourth rounder in 2026? Colin Miller isn't anything extremely flashy. He does have the hardest shot recorded ever in an NHL game. 8 points on this year. The advanced stats speak for themselves. Solid analytically. On a bad New Jersey team, right? On an inconsistent New Jersey team. So adding a guy like that to a defensive core that has the best defensive per 60-minute pairing in Schmidt and Sandberg, which I should also add is a third pairing on this team, and you add a guy like Colin Miller to that mix, the depth just gets instantly better. And then, you potentially bop out a guy like Nate Schmidt. Logan Stanley falls further down the depth chart, which is, perfect and ideal in any world, And I think that all of these moves are just perfect. They just check the box perfectly. The Jets acquire the center that they need. Check. They get a 30-goal scorer in Toffoli. Check. They get a depth defenseman at an affordable price in Colin Miller. Check. They already add that to a team with great talent. Nate Schmidt's probably going to be the odd guy coming out of this defensive core, if you ask me. And even then, he's been playing pretty good this year. But I look there, and I definitely think that Neil Pionk will either drop down or Nate Schmidt will just come out of the lineup and play with, and then you'll have Miller play with Sandberg. But like I said, best shutdown pairing in the league has been Schmidt and Sandberg all year long. That has not changed pretty much all year. That's how good that pairing has been. So, you add Colin Miller to that mix, and now the defense gets even more deep and, more consistent and just more quality coming into this team, and again, that's the thing that I love about all these moves that kind of just it's like all these moves get wrapped up in a perfect little bow that is chemistry, that is the perfect ideal fit. None of these guys that were traded for, I'm worried about on the chemistry in the locker room that we built this season. I think they'll all fit in extremely well to it. I think Toffoli, honest to God, is the perfect get for this year's deadline. Like, I know that the people were on the Buchnevich train and people were all over Tarasenko as that idea, and a lot of people were getting angry at the fact that on Tuesday a lot of trades were going down, and all I have to say to that is look at what Chevy's traded for and traded out. 1 first rounder, 1 third, 1 second, a fourth, and a conditional third, and you bring in all those assets. Like, insanity. Like, you look at some of these other trades that teams have moved. You look at the Lindholm trade, how much they gave up. You look at the Gensel trade, of all that quantity that went into moving for a guy like that. And then you look at all the moves that the Jets have been able to make, all the players they've brought in, and the prices for the giving up for those players. It's insane, and like the fact that Iafallo has been a top sixer for us right now with Perfetti playing bad, and then now you're going to drop him down in the lineup. You're going to have a guy like just. Everything about this just is exciting to me. Like, for the first time in such a long time, it feels like the Jets have finally picked a path, a real clear direction in a season where they're all in. They act all in on a move for once, and it's just so promising. Like, it went, like, really, like, outside of, the Stastny move, and even when they went out and got Kevin Hayes, the last couple of deadlines have been so disappointing for a team that's been on the cusp that, management trying to sell us on this idea that the Jets are a contender and that they're ready to win now, but, they go out and acquire a guy like Cody Eakin, a Jordy Ben, or a Zach Sanford, and that's not the moves that a fan base, or that tells your opponents that, you're all in, that you're trying to win a cup, and everything this year that the Jets did just screams we're all in, and I love that direction, and it's just perfect to me. And you listen to what Chevy was saying in his presser after the trade deadline, and I'm gonna let you guys listen to this because it's just so refreshing to hear this compared to what he was saying last year. Take a listen.
I sat down, with Helly and Scheif, and just the different things that we did this summer, and again, we as an organization, have been all in, and we're going to continue to be all in. And, it's all about winning. It has been since the very first day that, Mark, sat here, when the franchise first relocated. And, every decision we make, everything we do, it has a purpose in mind to ultimately try and win. And, again, when you have different opportunities and different things, that might become available, and you feel that you're, it's going to make your team better, then, you have to try and act. And we felt, obviously, getting, Monty back when we did, that we needed to act decisively. And then, these opportunities, presented themselves. Obviously, the deadline does become a deadline, and, that's when things do start to always heat up. And even today, you had 2 players, you have to do it on a day when you don't have to do anything to the rosters, it expands. So that's why trade deadlines, kind of culminate to the point here, but it's a long lead up, to the frenzied finish.
From what Kevin Cheveldayoff was saying last year about how this isn't fantasy hockey, you can't go out there and make all these crazy moves and stuff, and just the attitude that he had about improving this club and giving them the best chance to win was just left such a sour taste in so many Jets fans' mouths, including myself. And this year, hearing those words about how they're all in, the direction that they have, all the moves they're making, going back to the summer when they were talking with Scheifele, talking with Hellebuck, when they were obviously trying to get in place the Niederreiter extensions and everything else that went in to this last, year of hockey and behind the scenes management that's gone all in with the Winnipeg Jets. It's just so refreshing. It's so exciting, and I just couldn't be happier as a fan of this team. I am all in. I think all of us are all in at this point. It's saddle up and ride it to the finals, baby. Like, I am all in on this team, and I know all of you are too. Go Jets, go, baby, and I cannot wait for this ride. So peace, love, and positivity, as always. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on notifications if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and check out all the other affiliated links down in the description below. Have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and positivity, as always. And like I've already been saying this entire video, entire season, and for the entire time I've had this channel, I am all in. Let's get the cup. Go Go Jets, go, baby.